Hi friends, how are you? I miss you guys so much. Okay, so today's gonna be a quick little video. We're gonna talk about color today. Oh, I forgot my good thing. Oh, okay, let me rewind. Scene select, scene select, scene select. You guys don't rewind. We used to rewind, but you guys scene select, right? Okay. So my good thing is that I started walking. Walking is fun. I started walking maybe about 3 miles a day. And I have noticed that I feel so much better when I walk. When I get up and I move, I feel so much better. It's really important that you guys spend some time doing some kind of activity. If you sit around too long, it's just not good for anything. Your mind, your body, your heart, it's not good. So I don't care if you got to get like a jump rope or anything just to get your body moving. It makes a big difference. Okay. I've also been gardening. Spending time outside for me is really fun. I love it. Also, I started making my bed every day. I know that's kind of a weird thing, but I found that if I make my bed every morning, I feel like I can start the day out better. I don't know why. My sister Bridget would laugh at me because she used to share my bedroom and she put like a tape line on the floor where all my junk and my mess and my clothes like it exploded. And then her side was nice and tidy. And if like one of my shirt sleeves went over she would have a real hard time with it. But now, Bridget, my bedroom is clean. Yeah. Okay. So my good thing is that I've started walking and I'm like super loving it. So if you don't get out and get some exercise going, get it going because it feels so much better. And I know Mr. Merritt has got some really cool plans for you, so follow him because it's gonna help you and it's gonna make you feel better. Okay. What else? Let's see. Okay, so my sister Molly started making these masks, and she gave me one. Maybe I'll show it to you in a little bit, but I usually wear it on my walk because it's safe, right? And so my son is also like an essential worker. He works at Perigo, and my daughter is an essential worker. She works at Amazon. And so I wanted to do something for people that have to go to work now to keep us safe and help us. So, my son helps make sure that we all have the medicine we need, and my daughter makes sure that all the stuff you order online comes to your house, right? So it's essential. But still, I want to be able to show my support. So, I don't know how to sew. I wish I could sew, but I can't sew. But I can draw. So I decided that I'm going to show you guys how to do the happy hearts. Have you guys seen like the happy hearts that have been like popping up all over? You put them in your window and stuff. They're super cute. And I did like a little color pencil happy heart drawing. And I'm going to show you how, okay? So today we're going to talk about color. We're going to talk about what color does. When you use color, there's certain properties of push and pull. Like, remember how we were talking about the properties of push and pull with value? Well, color has kind of the same idea, but I'm going to show you what the difference is, okay? Okay, so jump in. What you're gonna need are, I'll just show you what I have. I have like an array of colored pencils, and I separate them by warm and cool. So if you don't know what warm and cool are, right now I'll show you. When I used to teach elementary school, I had little hand motions and like little movements for the kids for telling the difference between warm and cool. And I usually always start teaching color with warm and cool because I feel like if you understand the properties of what warm and cool do, you can always learn how to mix them later, but you got to know why you're using them and what, you want to accomplish. So I would say this. I would go like this for the little kids. I'd go cool colors like the cool ocean. Blues and greens and yellows. Oh, no, swip it. Not blue. Blues and greens and purples. I haven't done it in a while. Okay. And then I'd go warm colors like the sunny, warm sun, reds and orange and yellows. That way you associate the color with something in nature, right? And that seems to help people remember it, right? And then we did the little motions like the hula. Okay, so I want you to separate your colors in terms of warm and cool, like I did. Ding, ding, ding. Take a look. Oh, sorry, let me adjust this just a little. Still learning my tripod stuff. I hope that doesn't fall. Okay. Right, so cools, blues and greens and purples, warms, reds, orange and yellows, like this, okay? And then I want you to draw, not a value scale, it's called, I'm gonna turn this around and then I'm gonna move my body because that seemed to work last time. Sorry, excuse me, I'll spill my coffee. I remember to zoom. Oh, I can remember to zoom. All right, yay. Tilt, sorry. Just give me a chance. Okay. All right, so this is called a hue intensity scale. There's a difference between a value scale and a hue intensity scale, and here's what it is. The word hue means color, right? And then the word value, let me see if I can find, oh, I've got some drawings going. I've been drawing a lot. I'm gonna show you guys how to draw a bunny later, but that's our second project. Let's see. Okay, so a value scale deals with darks and lights, but a hue intensity scale deals with the saturation, the amount of color that's in the media that you're using in it. Today we're using colored pencils, right? So for the saturation, when you use a pencil, it's the amount of pressure. So you press hard, and then you're gonna have a more intense color. Does that make sense? Okay. Sometimes value scale gets a little bit confused with, there's my bunny. Cute. It's funny because it's Easter and it says, can you see what it says? Listen to Peter, he knows. Don't be a runaway bunny. I'm actually gonna show you how to draw this guy later, but we're gonna start simple and then we're gonna do some harder stuff. Okay, where was I? Okay, so the difference between a value scale, like I said, so hue intensity, hue means color, saturation, right? And when you press 10 for your core, that's gonna be the most amount of pressure that you can push. And then for here, it goes back, but necessarily not with a hue intensity scale. But you can combine the two. So what I did was, for the cool color, blue, greens, and purples, I did a black over top of it. I took my black, I don't think that's black. I took my black, and then I did like a shadow over top of it. Does that make sense? That's called a shade, S-H-A-D-E. And then I took my white, where'd my white go? Hello, here it is. And I burnished it a little bit. When you add white over top of a colored pencil, it's called burnishing. And it's also called a tint. Did I write that? Tint. Black is a shade. Tint. Oh, I don't want to write it upside down, do I? Oh, man. All right, we're going to do it because I want you to see it. T-I-N-T. Tint is when you add white. That wasn't too hard. Did I spell it right? T-I-N-T. For me, it looks like to it. But for you, it looks like tint. Okay, good. All right, so a tint comes forward and a shade goes back, right? But there's also something about the color properties that you need to understand about push and pull. And that's what we talked about with our value scale. Oh, not him, not him, not him, not her. Where's my value scale? Not her, not him. Darn it. Where'd my value scale go? Oh well, I'll find it in a little bit. But we talked about with our value scale is where you use black and white. The black pushes back and the white pushes forward. Well, with color, with the hue intensity scale, warm colors go bing, they come forward, and cool colors go whoosh, they go back. I'll say it again. Warm colors like yellow and red and orange go bing. I'm gonna make it come towards the camera. Ah, it's coming right at you. Warm colors come forward and cool colors, whoosh, I can't make it go whoosh, go back. And that's how you kind of control your page when you're working with color. You have to keep in mind what the effect is going to be. So if you want something to stand out, and of course advertisers know this, if you want something to stand out, you'll do your product or your logo in a warm color and you'll surround it with cool colors so that you're controlling the push and pull of the page. Does that make sense? Okay, so what I want you to do is do a hue intensity scale in one warm color family and then do a hue intensity scale in a cool color family. Cool colors, blues, greens, and purples, right? Warm colors, reds, orange, and yellow, and pink. Yeah, okay, good. And here's what I usually teach about color. I try to have the kids layer the same color families. Colored pencils are super fun for layering. I'll show you some of my artwork that I've done with colored pencils in the past, but I don't have it out right now, but I'll show you. So layering with colored pencils is super pretty. You can get a deep, really rich color, but I find that if you keep the layering in the same color family, like here's an orange, and I'm gonna layer it with pink because I like pink and orange together. I think pink and orange together is pretty. Some people don't like it, but I think it's like super cute. When my daughter was little, everything in her closet was pink and orange and yellow. I thought it was super pretty. Okay, so you can kind of see how when you layer light color families, the color becomes richer. And maybe I'll even take a little red and put it over top like this. All right. And my paper and my sketchbook isn't so great, and I can feel like when I push too hard the paper, the tooth of the paper is like the texture, the thickness of the paper, the tooth starts to wear out, and like right there it flecked a little bit. So just depending on the paper that you use, if you have a heavier weight paper, the weight of the paper is like how thick. It's like buying a pair of sheets. Like older people that shop for sheets know that if you get a higher thread count, it's a nicer sheet, right? Well, if you have a heavier weight paper in art, it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna accept your medium much better and not start to flake. Stop flaking. Okay, so see what I'm saying about layering light color families? It's pretty because it gives you a sense of depth that you can't get, not really even with paint. Like sometimes painting, you can still get the depth, but I think people are so used to drawing instead of painting, they can control a drawing media easier because they've, you know, been holding a crayon since they were 2. So, all right. So again, 10 is the core shadow, 5 is the midtone, and 0 is the highlight, and 10 is pressing as hard as you can. 5 is half of that pressure, and 0 is like feather fingers. Make sense? Okay. So for my students, I want you guys to please do hue intensity scale with warm colors and with cool colors, okay? And then with one of them, I want you to try layering light color families. So warms with warms and cools with cools. And then on the other one, I want you to try adding a shadow to it with your black, like this, to give it a little value. So in essence, you're putting a value scale over top of a hue intensity scale. Does that make sense? Okay. And so this one really starts to look round. This one is more about the color. This one is more about the tone, okay? The shade, the shade with the core shadow, mid-tone, and highlight. Okay, so again, warm colors come forward, warm colors go, where's the pencil? Bing! And cool colors go, what do? Whoosh! They go back, right? So if you're doing like a landscape, you wouldn't, you know, if you're doing a sunset, you're gonna kind of think about it because your sunset's gonna come forward, and if that's the main idea, that's fine. But if you want something to feel expansive like the ocean, you're gonna do a cool blues and greens color so it goes whoosh, so it goes way back. Okay, make sense? All right, I'm gonna tilt this up for a sec. All right, so for my students, we're completely online now, right? And it's gonna be like that for, I think, pretty much the rest of the year, which makes me sad. But if I know anything about you guys, you're flexible. You're super flexible and you go with the flow, right? So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna start uploading for all my beautiful Plainwell Middle School students who I love and miss terribly. Miss you guys so much. I'm gonna start uploading 2 videos on Sunday night. I've decided to do like an easier drawing. Like, so today I'm gonna show you how to do the happy hearts. Ding, ding, ding. Happy hearts. Happy hearts. How's your happy heart? And we're gonna try to make them look 3-dimensional by using that contour edge, shading dark on the edge and light to the center, right? You're gonna turn your paper so that it's comfortable in your hand, your pencil's comfortable in your hand. And then I want you to try doing some layering, and I'll show you how to do that. I drew a black heart behind because remember darks go back, and I wanted these to come forward. But so can you kind of see like how I said cools come forward and cools go back, excuse me, and warms come forward? These 2 hearts are pretty much the same size, right? So which one kind of pops out, the red one or the green one? Which one comes to your eye first? The red one. Yeah, the red one, good. The red one comes forward because it's a warm color, okay? And sometimes what you can do also with having things come forward is the size and the scale, right? So I have smaller hearts that are back and they look like they're farther away, and then I have warmer hearts that are larger and they look like they're coming forward. But then this is a really good comparison because you can see here's 2 hearts that are on the same plane, and this one comes forward and this one doesn't come forward as much. Make sense? Okay, so super duper easy, and I'm not even gonna draw these out for you because I know you know how to draw hearts. You know how to draw hearts, right? You draw a candy cane and then another candy cane. You connect the candy canes. You can totally do it, right? I'd like you to draw as many hearts as you are old, and I'm not drawing 54 of these. How many did I draw? I don't even know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, I drew quite a bit, right? But I also made sure that I did large and medium and small, because large, medium, and small in a drawing is a good way to make sure that you're spicing it up with variety. Variety is the spice of life, and in art, variety is a big deal. So you need a large, some medium, and some small, okay? And then when you shade them, let me see if I can show you. When you color them, try coloring light color families. So look, I'm coloring this heart on the contour edge. Here's my contour edge, right? Ding, ding, ding. And like I said, the weight of my paper isn't so great, but that's okay. I mean, this is just a sketch. This is like a quick little, doesn't take you long at all, kind of. But it's fun because you can put it in your window and then you feel like you're kind of supporting all the essential workers, like my sister and my son and my daughter. And we want to make sure that, you know, they know that we're thinking of them because they are doing a lot right now. I am super proud of them. And I know you guys are too. And you probably have many either parents or brothers or sisters that are also essential workers. See, I'm taking the same color family. Ding, ding, ding. Uh-oh, something's blinking. Hold on. I don't know why it's blinking. I've been doing this 16 minutes. FYI, I didn't. Sorry guys, I'm still learning. Okay. All right. So same color family. It blends nicely. It gives you a rich, beautiful, I want to say array, but that's not the right word. It gives you a nice feeling tone when you layer light colors. So now I'm getting kind of a turquoise looking heart here. And you can even tell that this is going back farther and this is coming forward more, right? Even though they're the same size. So size, if it's smaller, it's gonna go back. If it's dark, it's gonna go back. If it's cool, it's gonna go back. And if it's warm, it's gonna go bing, come forward. I hope that makes sense, you guys. This is just for fun. It's like no big whoop, because I want you to get used to like what you can do with colored pencils. And what you can do with colored pencils mostly is the layering is so much fun. And if you layer it properly with the right colored pencils, with the right colors, it usually looks great. Now, one little note about that. Okay, here's purple. If I layer purple over top of my green, and I know I said layer like the light color families, but purple has red in it. Because to make the color purple, you have to use blue and red, and you get the color purple, right? But if I use if I use purple on top of green, it might turn a little bit brown because there's something called complementary colors and they're opposite the color wheel. I really do need my color wheel. I'm gonna go get it from school, I think. So when you mix complementary colors together, you get a muddy brown, but I'm gonna do it anyway just to see what happens. I want you to experiment with color, like find out what happens when you mix two colors together. What happens? How, you know, what happens when you take two primaries and mix them together? We kind of studied this before you left. You get a secondary, right? And the amount of pressure that you use, you could also get a tertiary color. We studied that, I think, with my 7th grade. Yeah. Okay. So super simple. This shouldn't take you like long at all. Okay, so this is the easy project. Again, as many hearts as you are old, I want you to start with a hue intensity scale. Hue intensity scale is different than a value scale, right? A value scale, please let me find it. I keep finding these guys. Oh, here it is. My value scale deals with black and white. My hue intensity scale deals with color, okay? So, and again, warm colors come forward, cool colors go back. And then over top of one, I want you to try to blend light color families. Like here's an orange and I'm adding pink over top because orange and pink is awesome. I love that color combination. Okay. And then in one of them, I want you to try adding black over top. Where'd my black go? Where'd my black go? See, this is hard for me to keep track of everything. Where'd it go? Oh, it's right there. It's right in front. Hello. Okay, so take your black and start with a 10 and go over top of it and see what happens. Because once you add black, you get a shade, S-H-A-D-E, which I did right there, right. And then if you add white over top, it's called a tint. And when you add white, but still, you know, do like the feather fingers when you get to the 0. Don't press heavy. So when you add white over top, it's called burnishing, and it's also a tint. Tints come forward, shades go back. Cool colors go back, warm colors go forward. So you're understanding the push and pull of your page. Does that make sense? All right, so when you have these hearts, you can even like try a little bit of, and go really, really lightly, right? Like too much salt in the soup and you're not gonna get it out. Try adding just a little bit of black to some of the hearts and see how it looks. See if you like it. It will probably make it look more three-dimensional. It'll have more contrast. Remember how we talked about contrast before? So it's gonna have more depth and more contrast. If you add a teeny little bit of black and go super light around the corners, you should be able to start to see your hearts kind of looking three-dimensional. And my paper's kind of running out. Because look right there, remember how I talked about the weight of the paper? It's kind of buying really good sheets. If the thread count's higher, you know the sheets are gonna last longer. Well, with the paper, sometimes with sketchbooks, if the weight of the paper isn't like a 90-pound weight or 80-pound weight, it doesn't hold the media as much. But that's okay, because this is just for fun and for practice, right? It's no big deal. All right, so I did this one. Oh, here's another option. I was just playing around with it. So I took my hand and and this is something you can do with your little brothers and sisters if you want. You can show them how to do stuff, right? You can be the teacher. That's cool, yeah? All right, take your hand, trace around it just like that, and then do it so many times, or you can trace around, you know, like your sorry, I feel like I'm tilting this a little. You can trace around your brothers and sisters' hands, your mom and dad's hands. You can do everybody's hand in the family, but fill it up so that it becomes like this crazy jungle of crisscrosses, right? And, oh! I dropped my phone. Are you okay? I'm okay. Hold on. And I'm not gonna stop. I'm just gonna keep going. I hope that's okay with you guys. All good? Good. All right, so what you do for this one, and maybe I'll just like leave this up so I'm not, okay. Yeah, careful. Crazy crisscross of hands, right? And then, you know, I actually remember doing this from when I was like in elementary. This was one of my fun projects from when I was a kid. So my elementary teacher had us do this, and then she had us find like words inside the contour edges. And then I outlined them, and I just said stay home because it's super important right now that we stay home, right? And it's not gonna last forever, you guys. Trust me, it's not gonna last forever. It's gonna be done soon, and we'll all be together soon. So, you know, it's just weird. It just is, I'm not gonna lie, it's weird. Okay, so my elementary teacher, you know, showed me how to do this, and then you can find words in it and then make it three-dimensional. And see how I did the shading with the H and the O and the M and the E? I used a black color pencil to make some shade, okay? Does that make sense? All right, so this is what I'd like you guys to do when you get started. This will be tomorrow morning. I mean, I'm uploading it tonight, so you can do it tonight if you want, but it's Easter, so maybe you want to hang out with your family. I'm kind of quarantined right now. Okay, so step one, hue intensity scale. Check, check. Okay, one of them in a warm color family, one of them in a cool color family. Got it? Okay, next up, I want you to do a shade over top of one of them, okay? See what happens when you do a shade and you use a black is a shade and a white is a tint. I want you to try both on one of your color intensity scales. Got it? Okay, the next one, I want you to layer light color families, so pink and orange and yellow. See the pretty color depth that you can get when you start layering your color pencils. It's super pretty. You're gonna like it, so try it, okay? All right, then after that, you can do this one too. I mean, up to you. If you wanna do this one instead, do this one. Or you can do the happy hearts because, you know, you can put it in your window. Where's my happy heart? Where's my happy heart? Oh, okay. Please make as many hearts as you are old. And like I said, I'm not doing 54 of these. I don't even know how many I did. What did I do? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know. Anyway, fill up your page. Make sure that you use large, medium, and small because variety is the spice of life and variety makes your artwork more interesting. Got it? Okay. Then I want you to start pushing and pulling with warms and cools with your colored pencils and see what happens. If you do 2 hearts the same size, you do one in a cool color family and one in a warm color family, chances are this one's gonna come forward. It's gonna go bing, and this one is gonna go back. It's gonna go whoosh. So I want you to try it and see the effect of color, okay? Give it your best shot, yeah? And again, like I put the black in the background because I wanted these to feel like they're coming forward. But this is like no big deal. It's just a little doodle. And then when it's done, you can put it in your window and say that, hey, we support all the essential workers, you know, like my daughter and my son and my sister. And I know you have people out there too that you want to support. So I can't sew, but I can draw, and I can show you how to draw. And then you can put it in your window, and you know, we can do this together, because this is like, we're apart, but we're together. Okay? Okay. All right, so if you get this done, you have some homework for the harder drawing. Remember, I said I'm gonna upload 2 videos. One is gonna be an easier one, which is cool, because you can teach your little brothers and sisters how to do this, right? Or your grandma and granddad, or your mom and dad, I don't care. But you can be the teacher because it's gonna be easier. Okay, so the second one has a little bit of homework because we're gonna draw. Dun, 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 dun. Where'd my bunny go? Oh, I was making some drawings. So here's my one drawing. So it says, if you love a nurse, just stay home. And I drew like a little owl with a mask and little baby owls around. I like this drawing. So, you know, I don't know how to sew, but I can do some stuff. I can draw. I can show that I support people that I love, and I want to make sure they're safe. So you can do it too, right? I'm going to show you guys, since today is Easter, I'm going to show you guys how to do a bunny. Where's my bunny? Where do you go? No, wrong way. There's the rose that we drew. Remember we did this one together? That's another just stay home, right? Oh, here's my bunny. Okay, so I drew a little Peter Rabbit. And the practice for this one is I'm gonna show you guys how to wrap a texture around a shape. And so in nature, when you have like fur or whatever goes on the animal, whatever the covering of the animal is, you're gonna have to understand what that texture is and how to translate it into a drawing, right? So I'm gonna have you guys draw some shape, and this is just practice for our next drawing, which I'm gonna upload probably tomorrow. So this one's gonna be for the morning, and then I'll do another one in the afternoon, okay? All right, so if you got your happy hearts done, go ahead and draw like, draw some organic shaped ears, okay? Just a shape of an ear like this, okay? And I'm gonna put it down, don't fall, please. Okay, let's see, I'm gonna zoom in. All right, so I want you to just draw the shape of ears, and then I'm using a Sharpie, but you can use a pencil, but please make sure that pencil is sharp, yeah? Okay. And I have this little hand sharpener. I really like these little ones because this one has like a double nib where I can get a really tight nib for my pencil, or I can get like a wider one if I'm shading like on its edge. I can make the pencil work for me. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so you draw your organic shape of your ears, and I just drew like a straight line here. And then remember, see how I did the contour edge? I wrote it out, contour edge, and then you're gonna draw short strokes, right? So short strokes. We're gonna talk a little bit more about the form and function. Remember how, look at my nails. Oh, this is like pandemic nails right now. I can't, I'm not gonna go to the store to buy like nail polish remover. I'm just not, so you know, here you go, there you go. All right, so the contour edge determines the direction you shade, but it also determines the direction that you apply texture. And our drawing tomorrow is gonna be a little bunny, and I'm gonna show you him again, because I think he's pretty cute. I don't know. There's my owl. There's my rose. There's my bunny. Okay, so the texture of the ear, let me see if I can keep this page, is fur. Arg, 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 arg. Okay, so the direction, short strokes, following the contour edge, short strokes. That's the sound that it should be making. Okay, so that's your homework. Got it? So one, oh, I'm gonna spill my coffee. Don't spill my coffee. Actually, this is one. Ding, ding. Cool, warm, shade, color intensity, layer the color, light color family. Oops, sorry. Can you see that? Yeah. This is two. As many hearts as you are old, large, medium, and small. Okay? And then shade on the contour edge using your colored pencils. If you don't have colored pencils, just use a regular pencil. It's okay, it's no big deal, okay? And then try seeing what happens when you layer light color families, blues with blues, but mind that purple because sometimes that gets a little muddy, but that's okay too, right? And then even if you do two the same color, you're gonna see that red, like warm colors go bing, cool colors go whoosh. So I want you to be able to control your page when you use color. That's gonna be the effect. Does that make sense? Okay. And then when you get done with that, I'd like you to please try and practice, you know, drawing these organic shapes of ears. These are supposed to be bunny ears, but I'm not sure they look like bunny ears, but that doesn't matter. I'm just having you guys learn how to wrap a texture around an organic shape. Does that make sense? All right. And after that, I'm gonna show you how to draw, like, there's my little owl. I love owls. If you've had me in elementary, we probably made like 100 owls, and you're probably like, why are we always making owls in this fun? Because I love them. Okay, I feel like, I'll tilt it up. And I feel like I'm gonna like, there. All right, he looks a little like he's got a sword in his hand. I don't think I meant that, but it's kind of funny. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys tomorrow how to draw this bunny using size scale relationship. We're gonna start with the eye. The eye has to be a certain size because when you have size scale relationship, one thing, the first thing you draw is connected to everything else. And if you draw a dinky winky eye, you're probably gonna have a dinky winky bunny. And you don't want a dinky winky bunny, you want a big bunny because you're telling the story. So make it large so that you can show people that it's important. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, my friends. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna be uploading these every Sunday night. So I spend the week doing sketches and stuff like that and reaching out to you guys. And so that I've got all my drawings. I've got the next couple drawings planned out, but there's gonna be one easy and there's gonna be one more difficult. Today, the easy one is the hearts. The more difficult one is the bunny. I'd like you to choose one, or you can do both. And then what I need my TCB kids to do is they need to, well, actually my TCB kids, I'm gonna be reaching out to you guys all individually, but you are so welcome to jump in and draw with us. I know there's a couple kids that would really like doing that, okay? And even if you're not in my classes, you are so welcome to jump in and try this with us. Why not, right? It's fun. So, all right, I think I'm just rambling. And my coffee is cold. All right, so give those a shot. And then you can hang them in your window. And I would love to see like your finished happy hearts hanging in your window. That would be awesome. I know I'm gonna put mine in my window, so. All right, my friends. I will see you so soon. I will have the bunny video going tomorrow. So that's it. Happy Easter. And you take real good care, okay? Bye.